Now here are the worst neighbors ever, starting with a pretty crazy one, Gabriel Etzby Ocean. On July 4th, 2024, Gabriel Etzby Ocean, a 29-year-old Westminster resident, set off fireworks in the narrow space between his house and that of his neighbor, Anthony Fox and Nicole Betts. The fireworks ignited unexpectedly, and rather than fizzing harmlessly, they sparked flames that rapidly spread to Fox and Betts' home. By the time fire crews arrived, significant damage had already been done. Fox described scenes of roof and wall sections collapsing and recalled that the fire department even had to force open the front door to search for anyone inside. In the midst of the panic, their beloved cat Apollo was trapped inside, but a sheriff's deputy managed to rescue the pet before things turned worse. At the scene, authorities arrested Ocean and charged him with first-degree arson. The charge stemmed directly from the allegation that he intentionally or recklessly set off the fireworks that caused the blaze. However, despite the severity of the charge, Ocean was released from jail later the same day and returned home to sleep in his own bed, while Fox and Betts found themselves without a home, staying in a hotel, and sifting through the remnants of what used to be their life. Although Fox offered to hold Ocean accountable, calling for compensation or responsibility, the efforts were reportedly met with silence. They launched a crowdfunding campaign to help finance their recovery and seek a fresh start elsewhere. Moving on to the story of Sebastian Andrews. Sebastian Andrews, a then 33-year-old resident of Wilton, Connecticut, was caught stabbing his neighbor 104 times. On the morning of March 21st, 2023, Andrews' father witnessed him attacking their new neighbor, 39-year-old Arunzachukwu Ukachukwu, in the driveway of Ukachukwu's home on Patrick Lane. The father immediately called 911. Police responding to the scene found Andrews standing near the victim's body, shoeless and strangely calm, his face covered in adhesive bandages. His demeanor described by officers as a little off, with disjointed speech and behavior. Autopsy results revealed a horrific ordeal. Ukachukwu was stabbed a total of 104 times, 55 wounds to the torso, 27 to the head and neck, and 22 to the arms and legs. The spacing and uniformity of the wounds suggested Ukachukwu attempted to defend himself before being overpowered. During initial questioning, Andrews claimed self-defense. He said he believed Ukachukwu had trespassed repeatedly and left cryptic messages in his attic, and that he acted because he perceived Ukachukwu's gaze as menacingly crazed. However, his narrative often made little sense to investigators, reinforcing concerns over his deteriorating mental health. The trial commenced in February 2025 before a 3-judge panel. On the defense side, Dr. David Lovejoy, a clinical neuropsychologist, testified Andrews exhibited a full psychotic break during the attack. Lovejoy detailed how Andrews' paranoid ideation had escalated, culminating in a complete loss of access to reasoning. After 3 days of hearings, in April 2025, the court accepted the insanity plea. The judges determined that Andrews' schizophrenia and delusional state rendered him legally insane at the time of the murder. On the final court day, Andrews received a 50-year commitment to the Whiting Forensic Institute, reflecting the severity of his condition and the danger he posed. Next is Paul Ailport. In the early morning hours of November 10th, 2023, surveillance footage later showed 65-year-old Paul Glenn Ailport putting fireworks in his truck and setting the vehicle ablaze. Around 9:16 to 9:20 a.m., Ailport climbed into the burning truck and accelerated across his neighbor Ron Shiley's lawn, fireworks detonating from the bed as the truck hurtled toward the house. The truck tore through the side of the home and smashed into a bathroom, narrowly missing a 19-year-old woman who was about to step into the shower. The impact ignited a blaze on the home's north side. Burn marks from exploded fireworks dappled the lawn. Deputies from Lake County Sheriff's Office arrived to find the vehicle engulfed. Its driver slumped over the wheel, severely burned. Ron Sheila himself pulled Ailport from the wreck. Ailport's prosthetic legs became trapped under the truck's wreckage. Ailport was left bleeding and badly burned on his back, shoulders, right arm, and hand. He was transported to a burn unit in Utah for urgent treatment. Once stabilized, Ailport was returned to Lake County Jail, where he faced a series of criminal charges tied to this incident and earlier threats. Authorities documented extensive fire damage to the house and recovered remnants of a 228-shot triple cannon firework, which had fallen from the truck and contributed to the lawn's scorched appearance. Neighbors later recalled that the attack did not appear spontaneous. Over the summer of 2023, Ailport had repeatedly threatened to gasoline bomb the Sheelys, even asking another another neighbor which bedroom was occupied by specific residents. His erratic conduct, loud late-night engine revving, gunfire toward adjacent homes while under the influence of methamphetamine, and flashing spotlights had rattled the entire Paper Trail Road community. In the months following the November incident, Ailport was charged with multiple offenses, including attempted deliberate homicide, arson, criminal mischief, weapon enhancements, and possession of dangerous drugs. He initially entered an Alford plea to the homicide charge on December 5, 2024, implicitly acknowledging the evidence against him while not affirming guilt. On February 13, 2025, Judge John Larson sentenced him to 100 years in prison, then added a 10-year enhancement for use of the fiery, weaponized truck, bringing the total to 110 years. While this neighbor was a serious danger to society, this next one is just plain weird. Alan Davis. Alan Davis, a 69-year-old retired mechanic, first attracted local attention in April 2000 when people noticed his house looked like a junkyard. County code officers cited his property for objectionable, unsightly, or unsanitary matter. These initial violations set the stage for a legal battle enduring more than 2 decades. In 2002, the county pursued cleanup efforts to his home. Contractors hauled away an estimated 35 tons of debris, cars, pipes, satellite dishes, and more, but Davis quickly rebuilt the piles of trash shortly afterward. By 2004, Davis had escalated from civil fines to criminal charges. Prosecutors convicted him under Florida's litter law for illegal dumping of over 500 pounds of trash. He received a third-degree felony and spent nearly 4 years in state prison for repeatedly violating disposal restrictions during supervised release. Undeterred, Davis started hoarding again upon release. Seminole County pursued an escalating enforcement campaign. By mid-January 2025, outstanding fines and liens towards Allen totaled approximately $5.4 million, which he didn't pay nor even cared about. Despite filing code violations, the county's efforts were limited. State homestead protections prevented foreclosure. In 2015, authorities again cleared debris 30-plus tons from Davis's property, spending approximately $9,000 in public funds. Yet miraculously, Davis had it all back within months. The legal pressure continued. In 2017, he entered a plea deal for a second felony littering charge. But when he failed to comply with terms, he was sentenced to another year in jail. Despite the repeated convictions and county interventions, Davis remained defiantly committed to his lifestyle. He describes his hoarding as a form of political protest, invoking First Amendment and property rights. He's known for installing provocative sculptures, such as a 6-foot fiberglass butt, yep, you heard that right, symbolically taunting officials and the community. He's been quoted saying, "Freedom has a look. This is what it looks like," and defiantly urging critics to kiss my ass. By May 2025, Davis continued steadily accruing fines and remained in non-compliance. While this guy is a bit of a weirdo, he's unlike the person who hid in their neighbor's closet. Wendy Wilkinson. On December 1st, 2023, Hainsman arrived home expecting a peaceful evening. Instead, she walked into a terrifying scenario. Wilkinson was crouched in Hainsman's walk-in closet, clutching a pizza cutter, cutting board, and kitchen towel, apparently ready to defend herself if discovered. Startled, Hainsman fled the apartment, but not before noticing Wilkinson spread out among her belongings. The chase commenced in the hallway of their apartment complex. Surveillance captured Hainsman pursuing Wilkinson, who dropped a house slipper as she fled. Irvine police were alerted, quickly obtaining a search warrant. During the search of Wilkinson's home and storage unit, officers recovered a trove of stolen property valued at over $30,000. Items included designer purses, sunglasses, Hainsman's credit cards, which had already been used for purchases, her TV, passport, and work ID. Wilkinson was taken into custody by Irvine police and booked on charges of burglary and possession of stolen property, as well as unauthorized use of personal identifying information. She pleaded not guilty during her first court appearance, which was scheduled for December 13, 2023.